Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
Bernstein Unfiltered. And thankfully, I'm Dan Bernstein, because otherwise this would get weird. And that's Matt Ishbia, as always. And thanks to Protein Bar and Kitchen. Delicious, nutritious, and protein-packed food and drinks. Check out the menu at theproteinbar.com. I was thinking about this as we get ready on this sort of this slightly off-center timing sports week, more than slightly, actually, as we're getting ready for a Bears game on Friday afternoon, on Black Friday, after Maddie and I finish up our door busting. You know, as you know, annual tradition, we get out there and just bust down doors, and, you know, we leave with
people's homes.
We go,
we take their shit.
We're allowed to bust in anywhere. We'll just go in, we'll take your stuff, and we divide it up.
Leftovers, usually.
Sure, if you've got it, you know, if I've got, especially if there's leftover, like
pie,
no
dessert,
no, the turkey detritus, the debris at the bottom of the pan, and this, because that's usually when I circle back and I'll just, like, you know, kind of look over on the bird after it's picked over, the stuff on the bottom, like what they call the oysters that sometimes don't get harvested in the initial carving. And you can kind of get in there and start.
That's the stuff you go for?
Oh, I'm a hyena.
All right.
I'm an absolute turkey hyena.
All right, so leave your turkey scraps out, and Dan may come by and take them on Friday.
I may. Yeah. I'm just the guy to do it. Just sort of like in Chicago, where there's anything made of metal, the moment you put it in the alley,
it's taken.
One of the scrap metal trucks comes in and just...
Liam Neeson comes.
I've got a certain set of skills where I can take your old refrigerator and have it weighed and then sell it to be melted down. Wait, no, it's a different set of skills. I'm reading off the wrong set. I was thinking this. What if the Bears win? What if they win? You think that this is a story now about the Bears? Hey, look at the Bears. Look at the Bears. Look at the Bears. Locally, obviously, it's a big deal. And we're sort of in-town smart in that we know that there are completely reasonable reservations about the quality of the Bears. You don't have to look at point differential or anything like that. We know. We've watched all the games. We've watched every play. But sometimes on a national level, this is the kind of game where everybody's going to be sitting around watching. Hey, who's this Caleb Williams guy? Hey, let me tell you something. This Colston Loveland, look at this. This is what... Hey, we'll just call him along. Oh, the guy from Rutgers. Hey, I remember that guy from Rutgers. That's the kind of... You're going to start getting a little different penetration into the football psyche. It's going to be more than the hometown stuff from Kyle Brandt or anything like that. If the Bears were to win, watch Ben Johnson's Coach of the Year numbers jump. I think he's like plus 1,100 right now. Vrabel is the runaway odds-on favorite. But that'll become a two-man race. If the Bears win this game, then it's Vrabel and Johnson from here on in.
Yeah, you're starting to see more national media write about the Bears.
And I'm not pining for it.
I get it. But after the 7-3, after their seventh win of the season, they go to 7-3. You started to see a lot more of it. It's like people didn't realize they played 9 games already. You know, it was like, oh, wow, look at these Bears. They're 7-3. But here's what's going to happen on the outcome of this game on Friday. If they lose, it's, well, you know, they've been winning with smoke and mirrors. And here's a list of reasons why they could very easily be, you know, 4-8.
Day math.
You know, and so that's what they could do. Or they're going to look at it and say, well, they've won games that they weren't supposed to win. And so it's not really going to be about credit about the team. There's always going to be some underlying like national excuse about it.
It doesn't matter. If they win this game, it's going to be Bears Fest. You're going to have full-blown Bears Fest if somehow the Bears win this game, because even though there is still a weird percentage of Bears fans that have this inferiority complex nationally, the national media adores the Bears, absolutely cannot wait to feature them when they're good. Mm-hmm. If they actually think it's worth it. And the Bears haven't played telegenic football in many, many, many years. If they're not just a slog of a defensive team, if they don't play like the Browns where you have a great defense and no offense, if they think that this is more of an offensive product, and it is, they got one of the best offenses in football. It's a fact that you will see plenty of love. And I don't know if you crave it. I don't know if you're one of these people who's out there tracking everything that's said and every logo that's placed anywhere because you somehow think that it's you get validation when other people like your team. I'm not saying that. I want to be very clear. I'm not craving national validation. I am just telling you the truth that if they win this game, it's going to be a Bears fest. And it's going to be an annoying one, too, because then it's going to be Italian beef and Ditka sweaters and deep dish.
Here's one thing I don't subscribe to, and I never have, is this whole idea of what they were supposed to do. Like, I don't look at projections. I don't look at rankings. Like, the Bears were supposed to win 6 or 7 games this year. No, they weren't. That's someone's opinion. What the Bears were supposed to do this year was show up and play 17 NFL games. That's all they were supposed to do.
Well, there is such thing as expectations, though. And,
sure there are.
That's why I'm basing
sure there are,
this.
but not projections. And you like if you want to live and die by that and say, it's already a great season because they've outplayed they're supposed to win 5 or 6 games.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm reading the temperature nationally of what the country loves. The story of probability. The country loves inevitability. They love a dynasty. Without the Chiefs, there's a vacuum. There isn't a dominant team narrative. Who can beat the blank? That doesn't exist this year because of the blob size that we've talked about all year. It's a blob year. And that means all of the powers that be are constantly on the lookout for possibilities for, don't forget about this team. Right now, Mike Vrabel is coach of the year, and Drake May's an amazing story, and the Patriots being the Patriots, while Bill Belichick languishes in embarrassment and ignominy. That's a wonderful story. But it's not the Rams because the Rams are so far out west. It's different. Even though the NFL does a pretty good job, I think, leveling some of that stuff about when we see some of these teams. But I'm telling you, if the Bears win, if they beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who have long been the darlings and are themselves embroiled in infighting and controversy and, frankly, offensive difficulty, other than taking care of the football, they're not explosive. They haven't really done a great job specifically against zone defenses. I imagine the Bears, and we're going to talk about that further on Forward Progress, because I think when you do have a lot of reserve linebackers, reserve cornerbacks, it's hard to play a disciplined zone. But I think that's really what the Bears do have to do. But if they weren't creeping toward national darling status, they're going to get there real fast with a win. Now, having made that point, I don't need the Bears to win to think well of them. And I want that very, very clear. I mentioned it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. I just think it's important that they play well. That whether or not it ends up a kick goes through or a ball bounces, where to actually give them the win or the loss isn't as big a concern of mine on Friday as the overall quality of their play against a real opponent. Compete for real, not fluky, not just because somebody fell down. Really compete physically and consistently with this team. That's going to go a long way for me. That's more important to me than whether or not they eke out a win. It is a test of their quality. And sometimes the final score isn't necessarily indicative of the quality of your play. You can play like shit and win a game. You can play great and lose a game. A game, not a full season of games, but a game. I think this is a great opportunity for the Bears to run a much tighter ship all the way around in all three phases, even considering the injuries that you have. The Eagles have injuries too. I think Mukuba is down. I think there may be another injury in their defensive secondary. So definitely keep an eye on that. But I'm not using any of those things as excuses. Not when DeMarco Jackson popped up, what was it, in Fox's
all NFL team of the week because of the number of tackles that he had. I look at the Tribune story today about Ogbongbemiga and Jackson being like Urlacher and Briggs in the game against the Cardinals, the comeback game, just because of the tackle numbers. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like that's a reach. But if we're already doing that, there's no injury mitigations for any of this stuff. I just think that they could be the possibilities that exist out there if they win. We've got a hell of a story brewing. We have a hell of a story brewing if they win this game. If you're talking about they seal a winning record in Ben Johnson's very first year after starting 0-2 and they go to 9-3, buckle up. Buckle up for what you're going to get. I'm not saying it's what happened when they beat the Cowboys 44-0. I'm not saying that. Because it's, the monoculture was a different time and a different place. But these games when you see them. And by the time this ball kicks off, this is going to feel really big. I'm telling you, might not feel it quite yet. Everybody's traveling. You're on the phone. You're figuring out where grandma is, making sure she can make it because, she's out gambling or something and you got to get her on the plane. You're getting your kids home from college. You're figuring out how you're going to make sweet potatoes for 23 people. Trust me. But by the time you wake up on Friday morning, I know what you're going to wake up. You'll be like, holy shit, the Bears are playing the Eagles at 2:00 today. It's going to be one of these. Also, can I just say this? I have thought this way since I've been a kid. Since I've been a little kid. There are few pleasures in life. There are few little simple pleasures in life like genuine anticipation for a Bears game. When you really, and not just you do it because you once more unto the breach and you feel like you're sort of walking down into the basement to go walk to the end and talk to Hannibal Lecter. It's not that kind of feeling. It's the when you get that little sort of frisson, you get the butterflies in your stomach in a good way, remembering that that you're looking forward to the Bears game. There are few pleasures like that. Like back when you knew they were good and you were those of us of a certain age know that feeling of like countdown and oh yeah, we don't have to wait till Sunday for the Bears game. And then when it is Sunday and you wake up, you're like, oh, we already had the Bears game. So it's good. When they're good, that's that little thing that gives you that anticipation is something different and special. And we're in for a Bears-gasm.
Well, we get a real treat, though, actually, too, because on Thursday, the Lions host the Packers. So you have two division rivals playing each other. You get to watch both teams play one game, make it real easy for you. But they're also playing on a shorter period of time than the Bears are even on Friday. So they're playing on Thursday, so it's a quicker turnaround for two division teams that currently, if you look at the playoff picture on NFL.com, the Lions, who are on the outside looking in, and the Packers, who are behind the Bears, actually have a higher percentage of making the playoffs than the Bears do, despite being the 3 seed right now in the NFC.
And nobody with a brain thinks that's unreasonable. As far as percentages go, I think it's obvious. Okay, I think that makes sense. They might be better teams. We'll find out. Those tests are going to be there, but that's not disrespect.
I never said it was disrespect.
Yeah, okay.
It just. I mean, like, you think it makes sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. The Packers have 4 division games left. They're playing 5 teams of the final 6 that are in the hunt for the playoffs. The Lions have 3 division games left with 5 teams in the hunt. The Bears have 3 division games with 5 left in the hunt. So it's pretty even, and the Bears are ahead. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, and it's numbers and it's math, and the 1%, it should be higher. They're the 3rd seed. The Lions are on the outside.
Yeah, but I think people know what the Lions did to them.
Yeah, I know. I get that, but I'm not buying into this whole what they're supposed to do. Why can't the Bears win this year?
Oh, they can. Absolutely they can.
That's why I have high expectations for Caleb Williams, for Ben Johnson, because why can't they win? I don't like this whole process thing. It doesn't have to be a process. This isn't Michael Jordan and the Bulls trying to grow up and beat the Pistons. This is the NFL in 2025.
And even that narrative, I think, has been spun after the fact about learning how to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know how to win.
Yeah.
You guys have all
Score
won.
Score more points.
Right. Go out and play football and beat the Eagles in Philadelphia on Friday.
Yeah, learning how to win is almost always an ex post facto construct.
You know, there is one thing. We were talking about Caleb Williams and why he may be struggling and why he struggled to get into a rhythm on Sunday's game against the Steelers. And he talked about it himself. He said, I have to get better. He said, there's a lot more that we can do. We can improve. It all starts with me. These are all negative comments that Caleb Williams has.
He hates Caleb Williams.
About himself.
Whoever that guy is hates Caleb Williams.
He knows his performance could be better, and missing open receivers and missing targets.
Not a real Bears fan.
He said all those things Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
There's one. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, why he had such a difficult time Sunday. He took more snaps under center and dropbacks than he has in shotgun formation for the first time in his career.
And we're going to get to this on Forward Progress. I think the idea of what Ben Johnson said about turning your back to the defense and what it means to have that mental snapshot, there's a lot in there.
Now, it was split. It was 20 of 39 dropbacks were from under center. But it's the first time he took more under center and dropbacks than in the shotgun in his NFL career. If that threw off his rhythm and his footwork and his timing a little bit, but then you still counter it and say, well, it was his best game as far as getting the ball out of his hands. It was the fastest this season, 2.57. So those things don't work together. You can't have the fastest out of your hands and then say, oh, well, here's a possibility that under center he was kind of thrown off in his rhythm and his timing. He had really good rhythm, really good timing by releasing the ball in 2.57 seconds.
I did not enjoy the Bulls game last night.
Why?
Because they proved Nikola Vucevic correct when he said this is not a sustainable way to win. We don't have I believe he said we don't have the talent to play like this. He was literally pushing his clowning teammates away when he said it after they hung on to beat the Wizards. And the Bulls really put on a show of bad basketball last night, all the way around.
He was out with a knee?
I don't know what they said he was out, but he was out, and the guy they really missed, as the kids say, low key, the guy they missed was Kevin Huerter, just because of his ability to play at 100% effort all the time, and he's been sick, and he was doing it even when he was sick. They didn't have Dalen Terry, they had Patrick Williams back, and that didn't even matter at all. But my God, this team, this New Orleans Pelicans team, that had, 2 wins going in. They toyed with the Bulls. The Pelicans scored 143 points. They had 74 points at half. Consistently. These were the points per quarter for the New Orleans Pelicans. 37, 37, 34, 35. They scored 143 points for their third win of the season. Their second win of the season at home, in front of nobody. That was absolutely embarrassing what the Chicago Bulls put out there, what they put on tape last night. That was everything that Nikola Vucevic said. And Billy Donovan's damn lucky that he's got a guy in Vooch who's saying this stuff, and it means he doesn't have to say it. And maybe he does behind the scenes, but knowing Billy Donovan and knowing the way he's dealt with young players in the past, he's usually happy to let a player do that kind of talking. But they ran away from wide open shooters. It wasn't just effort. It wasn't just how hard they were playing. It was decision making. It was knowing personnel. I don't really have a problem with the shot selection. I don't have a problem with them taking 53s and making 20 of them. Make your damn free throws. They missed 8 free throws. And they got out-rebounded 55-33. I'm going to say that again. 55 to 33. Do you remember what I said yesterday about how to beat the Bulls? You remember the hockey analogy I used?
Yeah, the dump and chase.
Dump and chase. Yep. Put puck on net, crash the net. And it worked again. Because they cannot get a rebound because they have so many guys who are below the rim. And then it forces them to start fouling, and they did a lot of that too. A lot. When they were out of position and they were reaching. Meanwhile, I don't need to see any more Noah Senge for a little while. I'm good on Noah Senge. That is not ready written all over it. And if there's a time and a place at the end of a win, at the end of a loss, that guy needs seasoning. And that would have been a perfect Euro stash to just let him play in another league entirely until his body fills out and until he's ready. That is not ready for NBA at all. And if there's going to be a time and a place to find a very specific matchup, you want to put him in, see what he can do. Okay, all right, I get it. But this team needs a reckoning right now. And we're going to talk about all of this on the latest Organizations Win Championships that we're recording later today. We'll release it this afternoon. Because this game also, it reminds me of a couple of years ago when at halftime, when there was a blow up in the locker room, when Goran Dragic, of all people, had to start screaming at Zach LaVine because I think they had allowed something like 74 points in Minneapolis. That's what this reminds me of. You come off that floor allowing 74 first-half points to the New Orleans Pelicans. And make no mistake, they got some dudes. I got my Jose Alvarado assists in first 5 minutes. He had 4 assists. I only needed 3. I did not get my Bryce Young yards and my DBU picks, though, so I split those.
I got my Brock Purdy.
Yeah, you did. Boy,
under 254. Yeah, 1 touchdown,
garbage.
3 interceptions.
3 interceptions in the first half.
Yeah.
Every time I looked up, he was throwing an interception. Every time I was flipping back for the Bulls game because I was rage quitting the Bulls game over and over again because I kept getting pissed off. And then there was this waiting. We'll turn it on. Okay, we're down 7 after a quarter. Oh, really? Okay. Well, you're still down. Okay, we'll turn it on in the third quarter. They're not good enough to do that. They're not. They're not good enough to do that. They're not good enough to stand around. They're not good enough to forget which of their opponents can shoot. They're not good enough to just turn around without finding a body to box out. The physicality is lacking. You got other teams jumping over you, pushing you out of the way. I know we made a lot about Modest Buzelis putting on 20 pounds or whatever it is, everything we make up, but how much muscle he's got. Play like it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because looking at their last 10, they're 3-7, and Buzelis in his plus-minus is minus 49. And it seems like consistently.
He was getting abused. He was getting physically abused. People are getting pushed around.
Yeah.
And when you have no rim protection, the Bulls don't, you've got to win at the point of attack on ball screens. And that was the plan when you had Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso out there blowing up the ball screen actions. The Bulls are too weak on screens. And I think at the end of the game, finally, at the end of the game, when he wasn't pining for bad post-ups, Stacey King mentioned, and he finally got it, like I've been waiting for it. And it wasn't until the end of the game where I don't want to hear they're flat. They're more than, it's not just being flat. You can't start, wait until a screen runs into you and then decide to switch because they've already figured that out. Teams are already realizing that switch is coming. And as the switch starts to occur, then you've got guys making moves with the ball and off the ball, anticipating that. You got to ice some of these pick and rolls. You got to get over the top of that, let the big guy drop zone and ice it. That takes a ton of effort, multiple efforts per shot clock, per possession, multiple helps and recoveries, and understanding who can shoot and who can't. This goes for their closeouts. There's no reason to come racing out to close out on a guy that you would prefer to shoot it. Know who it is. You don't go scrambling out to a bad shooter. You hurry out to a good shooter. If it's a bad shooter, you close under control and make sure he can't get around you. Because when you do come out that fast, he doesn't even need to pump fake. He just watches your feet and watches your hands and goes around you, which he wanted to do anyway, and it plays right into that guy's hands. Know your assignment, know who you're guarding, and match up in transition. These are simple things. I don't know how much time you have to practice. You almost have no time to practice in the NBA. But this team needs a couple of hard practices to be reminded of some of this stuff. And all that clowning around after the Wizards game, Vooch, you made your point. And if he's like, hey, I'm taking the night off. My ankle hurts. You guys go do this. Go beat the Pelicans. I don't know how that got decided, but good. I hope he was sitting there in street clothes going, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Go get it, guys. Show me. You go get it. You go beat the lowly Pelicans in front of their crowd of 6 people. Go ahead and do that. And they got punked. The Bulls got absolutely punked. And I hope it resonates. You've heard us talk about Protein Bar and Kitchen. And this week, they have dropped something big. Introducing the brand new Power Players menu. These are your favorite PBK classics, but now they're packed with even more protein. And right now, because you're listening to DBU, to Dan Bernstein Unfiltered, you can get an exclusive 50% off when you order through the PBK app or at any of their digital kiosks in their Chicagoland locations. So it's the app or that kiosk that is essentially the app. It's major protein upgrades on some of their most popular items if you're looking to stay full and energized and on track. So check this out. The Power Mexicali, 50 grams of protein. The Power Cobb Salad, 70 grams of protein. The Power Black Bean Bowl, 56 grams. The Power Buffalo Bowl, 50 grams. The Power Spinach and Pesto, 53 grams of protein. So if you want a meal that tastes amazing and actually fuels your day, this is the way to go. As I mentioned, right now, as a DBU listener, you get 50% off your next Protein Bar and Kitchen visit, up to $25 off, one use per person when ordering in the app or at a digital kiosk. The offer is not valid on delivery or catering orders or at the airport locations. But you've got the chance here to get one of these major protein upgrades at 50% off at Protein Bar and Kitchen, all day power. There is another NBA story that is also, in a way, becoming a potential baseball story if you're a White Sox fan. Have you been reading some of the complaints against Phoenix Suns owner Matt Ishbia?
No.
Okay. Matt Ishbia, the brother of White Sox owner-in-waiting Justin Ishbia. And that's important to note.
Best friends of the Pope.
It's his brother. It's not the same guy. Matt is not Justin. Justin is not Matt. However, there's another lawsuit. The minority owners of the Phoenix Suns have some very serious allegations that have been levied against Matt Ishbia. And I'm just going to read you some of what is alleged in the complaint and some of the responses here based on this reporting at ESPN. Scott Selden and Andy Kohlberg, who are holdovers from the previous ownership group under Robert Sarver, have made this filing in Delaware State Court that is made public Monday. Selden and Kohlberg sued the team in August, alleging that Matt Ishbia refused access to internal records, and that he held a capital call on June 2nd, quote, to exert pressure on and dilute, unquote, the ownership shares held by the Suns' minority owners. Ishbia countersued last month. He's called this lawsuit a shakedown in a statement through a spokesperson. The filing states as follows. Matt Ishbia does not own the Suns to make money for the company, but he does operate it as a personal fiefdom for his own personal gain and for the benefit of his other businesses, including his mortgage company, United Wholesale Mortgage. The reality is that Ishbia is using the Suns as his personal piggy bank, including through a lengthy list of conflicted transactions, only some of which the minority owners are aware of. Amid several allegations, Selden and Kohlberg say that Ishbia extended a loan to the Suns at an interest rate far above market, that he sold the naming rights to the Suns Arena to his mortgage company without disclosing details to the minority partners.
That's not good.
And that he leased the Phoenix Mercury's practice facility from himself at undisclosed rates and established a new entity called the Player 15 Group that they say appears to hold assets that belong to the Suns.
Oh, boy.
Now, regarding the capital call, Selden and Kohlberg also say Ishbia tried to punitively dilute their shares if they didn't fund a capital raise on a 10-day deadline while hiding his own failure to fund by the deadline. In the filing, quote, in other words, Ishbia blundered into the very trap he set for the minority owners and faced a devastating dilution of his ownership interest if his failure was discovered, a failure that would wipe off his net worth and put his continued status as an NBA team owner and governor in jeopardy. So the lawyer representing Selden and Kohlberg said, we believe this scheme backfired and will result in a substantial reduction of Mr. Ishbia's interest in the Suns. He has repeatedly abused his position as manager of the franchise to benefit himself, not the Suns. Now, Ishbia, through his spokesperson, issued this denial. He said this isn't a lawsuit. It is a shameless shakedown dressed up as a legal process. From day one, Matt Ishbia was transparent. He was going to do things differently, contrary to how the team was previously managed. He made it very clear he would invest significantly into the Suns and the Mercury. He told all the investors they could step up with him or sell their stake and step aside. Kohlberg and Selden stayed in, and now they're trying to freeload off the value Matt created. They want to drag the organization backward, and they openly admit in this filing that investing in the team and its fans makes no business sense. They're advocating neglect. They're free to sell their shares in the open market, and if they don't, they should be prepared to lose this lawsuit. Selden and Kohlberg also say the Suns and Mercury have been operating a net loss since Ishbia came aboard. The exact figures are unknown. They say he has spent wildly on player and coach contracts, incurred massive tax penalties from the NBA, and built himself an expensive clubhouse to hold court and hand out favors to his guests. At the same time, Ishbia has mortgaged the Suns' future by trading away valuable draft picks for years to come and has knowingly foregone significant revenue opportunities. So this keeps going on and on. The latest lawsuit from Selden and Kohlberg is their 7th against the Suns since November of 2024.
Wow.
Others have been filed by current or former employees, allegations including discrimination, retaliation, harassment, and wrongful termination. And Ishbia goes hard in response. Anyone can file a lawsuit for any reason they want, for anything they want, he said. How many lawsuits have we lost? 0. How many will we lose? 0. The way I look at it is we don't settle. We don't settle with somebody. You want to say, give me $30,000 and I won't file a lawsuit? I say, file a lawsuit. We didn't do anything wrong. If we do something wrong, we take care of people. I'm not going to be leveraged by people. So that is Matt Ishbia on the muscle. He is the owner of the Suns. And yes, his brother is Justin Ishbia, who is the apparent owner-in-waiting of the Chicago White Sox. So the question you have is, as a White Sox fan, should this concern me? The answer, maybe. Maybe it should. If we see Justin's name somewhere, that changes things. At the moment, we're going to treat them as two separate people with two separate business interests and maybe separate ways of doing business. The last we heard from Justin, as you mentioned, Maddie, he was meeting the Pope, and I think saying all the right things. I thought he handled that just right. Didn't seem to be grandstanding, seemed to be talking about serving the fans and doing right by the fans and being a steward is the word that he used.
Yeah, he didn't say owner, steward.
Steward of a public interest.
So he's the steward in waiting.
I like that. I think that's good politics from his point. But talk is cheap. It's easy to say stuff. It is how you behave, and obviously the stuff that Matt Ishbia is doing is outside and maybe off the books or off the public record, and it takes lawsuits and the discovery process to bring those things out. That's exactly what I would tell Jordan Hudson as she says she's going to sue Pablo Torre. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
If you want discovery, go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny. What's it? Matt Ishbia, is that his name? When that comment you read there about the number of lawsuits they have against him, it sounds like it sounds like the current administration. Like there's a reason why you have multiple lawsuits against you. Like one could be an anomaly,
Well,
you get one crazy person that comes at you for something, but you get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It depends who's
30.
filed them. But if it's the same people filing them, that question can also snap back.
Yeah.
So I would just say, sit back and watch.
Relax and strap it down.
You don't have to relax.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to relax. I would not advise you.
Oh, just on Bears Talk, relax. But this is you don't have to relax.
I would say, if you are a White Sox fan concerned about what you're getting in your new owner/steward, I'd say keep your radar attuned. Watch all of these filings carefully, and especially stuff that's said under oath. If you don't see Justin's name, and I do think he's on the board, so I believe he does have an official position on the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
But just, I would say, watch it closely.
I thought he did.
Watch it closely. Yeah. So far, there isn't any immediate red flag, any immediate concern by association, blood or otherwise, to what's going on with the Suns. But if this is a reason to worry about worrying, perhaps, if you're in pre-worry, I'm the worrying expert.
Mm-hmm.
I am the worrier. Bang bang. So make sure that you stay abreast of this, is what I would say, because it's fair to be worried about having something to worry about.
I was looking at some NBA stuff here after your Pelicans and Bulls commentary. Well, I want to look at points scored per team, like their average.
Yeah,
it's insane and I get it. You don't have to explain why. I understand why. It's a different game today. Last time that I was trying to find the last season when every team in the NBA scored, they averaged under 100 points.
It's probably when the league was unwatchable.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
that would be like the heyday of the Van Gundy era.
2017, the 2017-18 season, there was 2 teams in the league that averaged under 100 points. That's the last time you had a team average under 100. That was the Kings and the Grizzlies. I've gotten back as far as, where am I at here? 1998-99 season. You had one team that averaged over 100 points, and it was the Kings at 100.2. They were just barely over. There's always been a couple teams, but just kind of going back. But man, it's crazy how
it's pace,
how the pace and the 3-point shooting has just evolved and developed, and
it's number of possessions too.
Yeah.
It's not just 3-point shooting; it's the total number of possessions that are played.
I mean, but you have a 2-15 team that scores 34 or more in every quarter against you. It's just
they had 70. Crazy. They had 74 points at half. That's when you go in there and you lock the doors of the locker room and you put an axe handle through and you lock everybody in through the storm doors and you talk to each other and you take a little bit of pride in what you're doing out there against a bad team. This was your chance to pad your schedule. All the talk earlier, boy, look at these Bulls. They're 5-1. They're 6-1. They're 5-0. This is great. It is great. It's great.
Yeah, but you're 9-8 now.
Yeah. And you nearly lost. You had to rally.
Back-to-back games.
It started in Portland
against teams that had 3 wins.
Started in Portland with everybody out, everybody missing.
Yeah.
Started there. Like, come on now. Have a little bit of pride. You don't have room to take a night off. You don't have room to take a possession off. And that's why. When they start talking about their depth, because everybody, the reason why the depth's been great is everybody's playing hard. And when you're not, and when you're missing your damn free throws, I was close to throwing the remote through the television. Nothing pisses me off like that. You know what would make me feel better? A well-turned, medium rare Omaha steak. I've got it down to a science right now because the filet mignons that they sent me, I actually like to pan sear them. You throw in a clove of garlic and a sprig of rosemary or thyme. You use like a compound butter. Oh, man, I'm telling you. And the other thing, too, in the compound butter at the end, if you throw a tiny bit of red wine and do like a beurre rouge in there with like a whole garlic clove, and you brown that off, then you smush the garlic clove at the end, and then you pour it over the steak after the steak's rested, then we're talking. And now is your chance to enjoy everything Omaha Steaks has to offer because it's the Cyber Sale. You can get 50% off site-wide, an extra 20% off select favorites at omahasteaks.com. Do not miss the best deals of the season and exclusive limited-time offers. Plus, you still get an extra $35 off with the promo code Bernstein at checkout. Just my last name, Bernstein. Terms apply. See site for details. Now, this is unrivaled quality and variety. It's Omaha Steaks, 100% guarantee. And the Cyber Sale is the perfect time to shop for unforgettable gifts, exclusive limited-time deals, and more. If you place your order by 5 o'clock Central Time, 5 p.m., it's going to ship same day. And you can send this experience of Omaha Steaks. So from the moment it arrives to the moment they enjoy it, that's all the time that your gift recipient is thinking of you. So take the stress out of it. You don't have to know anybody's shirt size or anything like that. Everybody's steak size is Omaha. Omaha Steak's been the America's original butcher since 1917. Still a family-owned company. And just click around and see the mouth-watering burgers and chicken and pork and seafood. And don't forget the caramel apple tartlets. Save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide, an extra 20% off select favorites during the Cyber Sale for that extra $35 off. Don't forget to use the promo code that's my last name, Bernstein, Bernstein. omahasteaks.com, promo code Bernstein at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details.
All right, I'm at the 1963-64 season. It's never happened where every team has been under 100 points.
Okay.
Never.
Well, that's since the shot clock, since the George Mikan shot clock they put in.
God, I hate that in high school basketball. I think Illinois is getting it this year, maybe, or is it next year? Because we go watch a lot of the high school games. Really enjoy watching them. And it makes me so mad though. It's just
I have trouble with
so
the college
irritating.
shot clock.
Oh, too long?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch college games like, stop having your little point guard circle around and bring it out and circle around and bring it out.
What's the NBA shot clock now? Is it 8?
2.
Oh, 2? Okay.
Yes.
Long pass, shoot.
Yep.
Long pass, shoot.
Yep.
Well, I've seen games like that.
Yep. It's okay.
5-second possessions up and down the court.
If you have been around the north side of Chicago and you've seen something flying around that you couldn't identify, guess what's back? Guess what's back?
The McRib.
The snowy owls are back in Chicago. We do not know if we have an eruption. It's not eruption, it's eruption, IRR. An eruption year is when there's just a lot of a certain species that happen to migrate here, and you don't really know with snowy owls. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it depends on the lemming population way up at the Arctic Circle, whether or not where they've got their food. Sometimes they've had a really good breeding year and there's just more of them. And the fact that we've so accelerated the eventual destruction of our planet that a lot of this stuff is getting kind of crazy for reasons that we really don't care to investigate too deeply because it's our fault. But bottom line is Montrose Beach now has snowy owls. There were 2 that were spotted there. I was lucky in the last eruption year to not have to seek them out. So not on my bucket list. It was the winter of 2017 going into 2018 when it was an evening. It was just after dusk. And I was walking at California and just north of Irving Park, right along the west side of the river, McFetridge. I was taking Jason to hockey. And I brought him in, and then I forgot something from the car. I went out to the car, and I came back, and I looked up, and I said, why is there a gull flying in? Because usually they're already roosting by evening. You don't see gulls at night. And I said, that's a huge gull. And it swooped down.
On you?
Right over my head.
Oh, wow.
I'd say, maybe 20 feet up.
And it was a snow
owl?
owl?
Snowy. Yeah, it was a snowy owl. And I was jumping up and down, like looking around. Does anybody else see this? Does anybody else see? Look at that. It's a snowy. So if you say, what's a snowy owl? That's the Harry Potter owl. Like Hedwig.
Oh, yeah. How is your Harry Potter?
How's your Harry Potter? Yeah, like Hedwig is a snowy. They're awesome to look at, and they love to sit. They like an airport would be a great place for them. They're a tundra hunter. They'll sit on a little grassy knoll and just look and use their vision and look across the windswept tundra and wait to see a lemming, and then they go eat it. So
it was the snowy owl on the grassy knoll.
I don't know what they're eating around here, whether it's rats or rabbits or squirrels, but apparently
children.
There's enough to bring them down here. And if you are going to see them, just don't be stupid. Don't run after them. Don't try to take a selfie with them. Follow the cue from other experienced birders who were there. Just don't be an idiot. Because at Montrose a couple of years ago, there were long-eared owls, and I was lucky enough to be there on that day, which is even kind of more rare to see. And there were 3 of them that were all in the same tree. That was really cool. But they're apparently they're worried because there's some peregrine falcons that are around right now, and they're worried about their maybe some territoriality and the fact that falcons will attack anything. So just take your cue, or actually ask if there are veteran birders out there if you were planning on going and seeing them. Just take good binoculars. Do stay far away. They can get spooked if you've got your dogs and stuff like that, because they've got to be aware of if the falcons are a nuisance or a threat. Their senses have to be attuned to them and not to you and your noise and your phone and your dogs and your kids. So be very careful with that.
I found it here, Dan. It's the 1953-54 season. Was the last time.
And was that?
The shot clock was 54. So the last season when every NBA team averaged under 100 points, you had the New York Knicks, the Syracuse Nationals, the Boston Celtics, the Philadelphia Warriors, the Baltimore Bullets, Minneapolis Lakers, the Rochester Royals, the Fort Wayne Pistons, and the Milwaukee Hawks.
The Fort Wayne Zollner Pistons.
So that was it.
The
last time. Yeah.
I have done games.
Had 9 teams.
I have broadcast games from the home arena of the Fort Wayne Pistons.
Oh, really?
It was Allen County War Memorial Coliseum.
I've heard of that. Who plays there now?
I don't know. I think it's just a public place.
Yeah.
That's where the Fort
No, I
Wayne...
wonder if it was like an independent team or a...
I don't know. It's where the Fort Wayne Fury played their games. That's where, Lloyd Daniels was on some of those teams. You know who else was on the Fort Wayne Fury back then? Frank Cornett, the father of Luke Cornett.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Hawks that year, Dan, were 21-51. They averaged 70 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Pelicans did in the half last night.
Yeah. You let the Pelicans get 74. By the way, Zion looks pretty good. I think Zion's had a bit of the Zempic.
Oh, Ozempic's hell of a drug.
My guess is he's had a bit of the Zempic.
Yeah.
But more impressive than his weight, he got a quiet 27. And at the end of the game, I looked at him at the foul line. I expected him to be huffing and puffing and dripping sweat. He wasn't.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you lose weight.
End of the game, dry as a bone.
Less weight to carry up and down the court.
But it was clear at the end of the game that he's in much better condition. Now, if he can just keep his feet healthy and not have some of these wear and tear injuries on ankles and knees and feet and all that, He's a damn good player. Like, you see it there. If you can just keep the weight off and keep the springiness a little bit and stay in cardiovascular shape, good for him. I don't know. What did he say his the cheat food was, or the danger food was for him? I know everybody's got their own little problem.
I don't know.
For the Bears, Aaron Gibson, it was his wife's lasagna. I know for years ago for Marcus Kennedy, it was Cool Ranch Doritos. I asked a scout. I said, what's keeping this guy out of the NBA? He said, Cool Ranch Doritos. I said, seriously? He goes, no, I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. I said, I am serious. He said, Cool Ranch Doritos are keeping him out of the NBA. The guy eats bags of them on every bus ride.
Really?
Oh, Marcus? Yeah. Eastern Michigan's big Marcus Kennedy. Big goggle guy. Great rebounder.
That's good with the Cool Ranch Doritos every now and then.
Sure.
I'm not sure every day.
Oh no, every once in a while.
Through a bag.
Every once in a while, I'll wreck some Cool Ranch Doritos. Because they're good.
Oh, they're really good.
So are Cheetos.
I saw a bag last night. We were out doing Thanksgiving Day shopping, and there's Doritos.
Wait, you weren't? We're still doorbustering, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
I'm just making sure.
No, that like for food. To cook for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And Doritos has a late night jalapeno popper flavor.
I'm out.
I think they have like a whole late night line.
I don't need more flavors.
There's like late night taco, and
is that basically saying you have to be high to like it?
That's what I was thinking, or drunk, one of the two. Because if you're up late at night, you're either sneaking food from your wife, like she doesn't see you and yell at you for eating snacks, or you're drunk or high.
If you call something late night, I think we know the presumption. That
Drunk
would be
or
my
high.
guess.
Okay.
I want to send out a quick congratulations here to Leo Garza. This, according to Dale Bowman in the Chicago Sun-Times, there is a lovely picture of Leo Garza with certainly the biggest walleye I've ever seen caught in Lake Michigan. And Leo Garza is in Chicago fishing lore, an unofficial Chicago record of 14.3 pounds for a Chicago walleye.
Wow.
He was jigging for lake trout.
Sounds big.
He thought it was a lake trout. It is big. That's like a Lake Erie walleye.
Ooh,
and they were fishing. They were fishing for Lakers. He thought he was hung up on a rock. A spinning rod with 17-pound mono and a half-ounce jigging spoon with white tinsel hair.
Oh, the half-ounce jigging spoon? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I'm glad you signed off on that one.
Those, yeah.
They thought that this would challenge the state record of 15.08 pounds that was caught in the Pecatonica River in 2012. But my guy Brian over at Park Bait, if you know the folks at Park Bait, it is Stacy Green, still the owner, who inherited from her father, and her husband Brian, and Corey is always there as well. And it was Brian who was in charge of the weighing on the certified scale. 14.3 pounds short of the Illinois record, but it destroyed the unofficial Chicago record that had been 7 pounds, 5.5 ounces. It nearly...
Wait, for a walleye?
It nearly doubled.
So it was the walleye record for
nearly
Illinois.
doubled for Chicago. Nearly doubled
Chicago, okay.
The unofficial Chicago record.
So the previous largest walleye caught in Chicago was 7 pounds.
7 pounds, 5.5 ounces.
And this dude caught a 14-pounder with the single-haired white jigger spoon.
Careful. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
Good for him, man. That's awesome.
I
wouldn't have picked that
particular
myself.
bait. Yeah, but that's because he was fishing for lake trout.
Oh, okay. That's why I thought it was for lake trout. I was like, that's weird. How would you catch a walleye with the white spoon?
On a lake trout spoon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's okay. That makes sense.
See, now you get it?
Now I get it. That's huge.
Right.
So,
if he had been, trolling an Erie Deary, perhaps.
Yeah.
Then you would have said, well, sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
An Erie Deary, those are dangerous. Got to watch out for those.
Well,
we were looking for we were shark hunting on Lake Michigan the other day.
You're sharking?
Yeah, I think I had the wrong bait.
Yeah?
Zion Williamson, July of 2023, article with SI, says the foods that give him the most issues are cheeseburgers, pizza, and bacon.
Hello?
That's all good to me.
Right.
Does you put them all together?
Well, bacon doesn't make you fat. It's what you have with the bacon.
Yeah, there's a lot of fat into it.
Yeah,
It's
but bacon doesn't make
great for you.
Bacon doesn't make you fat.
Yeah, but it's not really good for you though.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. It's all salt and fat and nitrates. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's good for you, but you should be able to eat all the bacon you want. That wouldn't really, pizza, cheeseburgers, it's the fries that really get you.
And the bread.
And the bread.
That'll do it to you.
But I'd like to just say, again, congrats, Leo Garza.
Yeah, congrats, Leo.
Nice
That's
job.
great.
That's a hell
Catching
of a
that
fish.
thing with that bait. That's awesome.
It's a great picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice fish. It's a nice piece of fish. Well done. Reminder, Forward Progress is going to get into all things Bears in just a bit. And then later on this afternoon, if you are a Bulls fan, we're gonna let this team have it, I think. And also, Kendall Gill said something last night that really, really missed Jason Goff being there to give him the look. He needed Jason Goff to shoot him a look last night. That's all coming up on today's Organizations Win Championships. This has been Dan Bernstein Unfiltered.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.